Are you stressed and filled with anxiety like I am? Maybe in a bit of pain from that car accident you had a few years ago? Well, the sponsor of today's episode, Hempville CBD, has us covered. They have the highest quality products created by chemists and doctors. Hempville carries everything from CBD to THC dispensary grade without those despicable dispensary prices. Order your Delta 8, 9 edibles and vapes along with the THCA flower and get free shipping when you spend $50 or more at hempvillecbd.com. Check out the link in the description for more details.
Welcome to the Filmistines, the double feature podcast. Join us as we unravel the interwoven experience, the continuous conversation of cinema. Take part in pairing movies with their cursed counterparts, movies that share DNA, or even pairing questionable duos by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level. With a $5 tier, we'll grant the ability to request films to further the discussion. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready to join the 100-year conversation. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment. They're an experience.
They're an experience
all around you. And welcome back to another episode of the Film of Science. Thank you for joining us today. I am joined today by my shallow friend, Lucy.
Hello, everyone.
You can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for brand new episodes of the Film of Science. Some recent episodes include Godzilla -1, Chicken Run 2, Dawn of the Nugget, Leave the World Behind, our Grinchmas special, and the new lovely Wonka. Remember to stop by on our Patreon to leave a comment, concern, thought, idea, inquiry of any kind. Leave nice reviews, comments, likes. Help us out. Today we are discussing the shallowest of films, Bradley Cooper's 2018 feature debut, A Star is Born, with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga staring at each other and singing at each other. And that's acting.
Damn.
So this film has been on my radar for a while. It's been one of these films that's just been shoved down my throat by folks. I don't know if it was just the circle I was in. Did you hear a lot about it at the time?
No, but the soundtrack kept popping up in my Spotify.
Yeah, that song was definitely big. It was all over the radio and everything. That's true. So there was some familiarity with this movie as far as what it's about and who's in it and the vibe and the love and, you know, the hype, I guess, in a nutshell. And so, you know, I had some expectation of this being decent. And I'm happy to report back that this movie is severely overrated. It's not that loved, it seems, after all the dust has settled. The scores across the board are not absurdly high. So that's relieving. But this was one of those films that everyone was like, or so it seemed, you're going to cry. I don't cry during movies, but I cried during this movie.
No way.
Yeah. So I was just like, okay, you know, I like powerful movies, you know, I embrace the power of movies. Godzilla -1 is probably the most emotional movie I've ever experienced. I know that's crazy to hear, but, you know, because it's a Godzilla movie. But A Star is Born is, I think this is going to be placed down in my mind as the baseline of Oscar bait. Because it's beautiful, it's slick, right? We have very performative pieces happening because, you know, it's kind of shallow in that way because they're actually musicians performing on stage and everything, so it's kind of easy to trick people into an emotional state, right?
Yeah.
Especially, I guess, the fandom around Lady Gaga and the Candyman Bradley Cooper.
Candyman?
Is that what people say?
Candyman? Like the bad guy?
No, like, what did you say about Bradley Cooper?
A heartthrob.
A heartthrob.
The heartthrob. Yeah, I don't know if Candyman is a term, but... And if it is, I don't like it.
My bad. This film's not very good. It's got some really high marks, I think. I think the first probably 15 or so minutes are very good. I think the last 10 minutes are decent. I think the moments of focus on Bradley Cooper are easily the better part of the film. I think Lady Gaga needs to get in her lane.
Yes.
And either, you know, I don't want to say she shouldn't be an actor or anything, but she needs to kind of back it up and maybe reflect on what acting is to find the inner actor in herself, because I don't think she's any good, I guess. I don't know what I'm. Does that make sense? These are kind of my preliminary thoughts, I guess, right out of the hip. What do you think about this Shallow movie, man?
Yeah, I wanted to like this a lot more than I did, for sure. You know, I had just the little bit of experience with the soundtrack and definitely the Shallow song that got played everywhere, which is a great song. Phenomenal song. I really like it. So it made me want to like this movie. It made me want to watch it too, but it made me want to like it. But just the story here isn't that great.
In the structure.
And the structure isn't, and the characters just weren't fully developed. I think Bradley Cooper's character Jack is maybe the most developed character here. And it I don't know, did he just spend time on his character so he wouldn't fuck up that he forgot everyone else's character? I don't know.
You're directing Bradley.
Yeah.
It's sort of up to you on some level.
And the soundtrack was good, but it wasn't that good for what the Shallow song is. I wanted at least like, I don't know how many songs were in the film here, but we should have at least had 3 awesome songs that resonated with you. Not him playing the same song over and over in each concert piece we got. And I was reading that the music they did was live. I don't know if that also means the music in the I don't know how to phrase this, like the singing they did when they weren't on stage, like when they're in the parking lot or when they're at their home. Was that sung live too? Because just something about the way that sounded wasn't resonating with me. And I'm not a Lady Gaga fan. I don't know if you knew this about me, but I don't like Lady Gaga. I don't remember when she was popular, but you know, her Paparazzi song and those songs, they weren't my favorite. I didn't really like them. They were definitely the first ones to get switched to the next song when they came on. I probably only have one Lady Gaga song that I like, and it's the You and I song, and that's about it. So just something about her singing in these moments when she's not on stage didn't sound that great to me.
Yeah, I don't like Lady Gaga's music in really, like, in the slightest at all. Bradley Cooper, he's kind of got a twangy, manly man thing about him. It's, you know, it's like you've heard it all before, but it's a good voice, no doubt. And I'm sure it's heavily produced. I don't know, maybe not, but I have a hard time believing any of the recordings we got were live. They may have performed live, but I think the vocals we got and everything were definitely done in a studio.
Okay.
And they just overlaid them.
Yeah, because I heard him talk in an interview about how the singing was live, but I'm not sure what that meant.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know too, because I mean that's cool, no doubt. If they captured that and used all that from a live performance, that's very neat and very ambitious to get that. That is cool.
But as far as cinematography goes, I think that was the highlight here. And I'm not sure if I know what an Oscar bait movie is.
Me neither, to be honest. But I'm trying to build that definition in my mind.
Yeah.
And people looked at this as Oscar bait at the time, and in retrospect, reading about it, I can see the comments. And people were saying something similar about Maestro, his next recent film.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the lighting here was pretty great. And I mean, it's also hard not to have great lighting because you're in a stage, you're performing. A lot of this was a performance piece, and the non-performance pieces were in natural lighting. And so it made the movie look really good, which I like that. I don't know if that's part of the Oscar baitiness of it, but I really like that. And some of the close-up shots we got were actually pretty cool. So I'll give him that for this movie.
Yeah, I like a lot of the close-up shots too. One thing I don't like about the close-up shots though is what was contextually happening, and there was a lot of them staring at each other.
There was.
And I know film, the nature of film, the art of film embraces the close-up a little more than something like theater, obviously, right? So the body language in the face is, I mean, it can be everything to a film. And I don't really know how to say this without sounding anti-Lady Gaga, but this is not acting. Lady Gaga looking in Bradley Cooper's eyes is just not working for me. And Bradley Cooper looking at anyone, just really not going to sell me. Because, dude, you're just obsessed with yourself.
Dang.
You know you're beautiful. You know you have beautiful eyes. Okay. And I don't mean to, I don't know, is that cynical to say? I'm not sure. But it's kind of like what we were talking about in Leave the World Behind with the camera work.
Mm-hmm.
And how if it's a little, or in that case, majorly overstated, it loses its oomph.
Mm-hmm.
We start off with these two fucking staring down each other's throats. You know? We don't have any build-up. We don't have any connection. I know they try to jump into connection land immediately. And I think they do a pretty decent job. To what end? To a terrible end, I will say. The whole passionate infatuation they have in the very beginning sets the stage for something really powerful, I think. But I can't believe how muted the rest of their dynamic is after the initial interactions, after the drag queen bar and then the cop bar and stuff. It's pretty like steamy, you know?
Yeah, they definitely were not messy enough.
Yeah.
They in the rehab scene towards the end when she goes and talks to him, he talks about all they've been through, all the fights they've been through.
What fights?
Exactly. Like, you had one fight that I wouldn't even count it as a fight. It was the boboest fight I've ever heard in my life. I mean, a great example of a romance movie is definitely The Notebook. And they're crazy and messy and fighting and calling each other names. And, I mean, telling her she's an insufferable bitch all the time. I mean,
that sounds like my kind of movie. I need to watch that shit.
We don't get any of that here. We don't get any of the passion that was initially thrown at us. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Especially because of how they jump started it. They set it up, I mean, arguably perfectly for the throwing shit at each other, for
Yes.
You know, Lady Gaga fucking taking his drunk ass and choking him and then coming to her senses and being like, fuck, I'm killing this guy. He's drunk. He can't fight back or anything, you know, and then
throwing his shit out the fucking door at
Yeah.
the window, setting stuff on fire. I don't know. Yes.
I'm totally with you.
You have the balls to punch someone out.
A cop. Off duty, of course.
Yes. To punch a cop out for this man that you just met 10 minutes ago.
That's a statement of character. Punching a cop in a cop bar. He may be off duty or not, doesn't matter. It's a statement of character, and she's a wild card. And then the rest of the movie, she is as muted can be.
Yes.
And that's what I was kind of getting to with the stares is a good stare, a good up-close stare can be very powerful, obviously, right?
Which they do that in the beginning when he first sees her at the drag show and she's performing and they have, you know, she's laying at the table right in front of him and the stare. And I'm like, okay, like I see this. I see this. And then it's gone.
But then they do that again and again
Exactly.
and again.
Like, I get why you did it here, but why'd you do it when you're...
It made sense. It made great sense in the drag queen bar.
Yeah, you're at a picnic. I don't know. Whatever else they did. Yeah.
I don't know exactly what I'm feeling when I see that, but it does make me cringe, totally. It's just so... It's lazy romance.
Yeah, and it's not the character you build. Maybe if you build a 16 teenage-year-old girl that is infatuated with this guy, I don't know what he does, but, you know, she's infatuated, then those make sense. Those, from her point of view, at least make sense. But you don't do it throughout the whole movie just because you're claiming it's a movie about love.
What do you think about the scene, like, I think it was right after the cop bar scene where they were sitting in the parking lot and let him in on her song that she's been writing. The Shallow song, right?
Yeah. I hate that scene.
I hate that scene too. I hate that part where she starts singing, I should say. Especially. That was...
I hate both. I hate that scene and I hate the part that her singing there, and that's one of the reasons I said, is this live? Because she did not wow me like she wowed him, apparently, here. I wanted to be like, whoa, okay, she's good. And even in that song she performed at the drag bar, I wanted to be like, oh my god, no wonder he's falling in love with her music. She's amazing. No.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
It wasn't
fine.
Great. Yeah, it wasn't. You're claiming to fall in love through music. I didn't fall in love with you through this music. I'm sorry. But in that scene, I hate it because she's supposed to be shy, I guess, about her music, right? She doesn't sing her own songs. She's supposed to be shy about what she writes.
Sure.
But then she starts singing in front of him. I don't know. I just didn't understand that. And, he's a real famous musician. Like, there was nothing built here for me to make her trust him that much. Because he tied a bag of peas around you when you punch someone out. Like, it didn't hit me like it should have. It should have been a moment of, oh my god, she's letting go. She's being vulnerable around him. It wasn't there then. It's like they rushed it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is they start off from a slow acceleration into fucking skyrocketing, and you can almost excuse it in the very beginning, but it takes off so fast at some point that you're just like, where is the relationship?
Yeah. With
each other, I should say. They all of a sudden only have relationships with their work, which is fine at a point. You can earn that. You can earn that Allie can't maintain both relationships. You can earn that Jack can't maintain his relationship with her and continue being a deadbeat musician, alcoholic, and they can have that wear and tear.
Yeah.
But it just becomes a crazy muted. I don't even know how else to describe it. We completely lose focus of anything. Like, I would have loved a much tighter focus on Allie's character or Bradley Cooper's character, Jack.
And I think they had it there with Bradley Cooper's character.
I think that's the more interesting route to go, especially because of his distaste for pop music, which I want to talk about a little bit here in a minute.
Yeah, I saw some reviews, which I don't know if it's fair for the reviews I saw, that they were like 5 years old, around when the movie came out. So they have that first initial love for the film around everybody else, and they were in part of that hype. Yeah. So I don't know how fair those reviews are, but they talked about the chemistry between Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. And I'm sorry, no, there is absolutely no chemistry here. There is no love between these two characters. I want to be mad that these two characters are not together in real life. Like Pam and Jim from The Office.
Yeah.
Or, Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling from The Notebook. Or even Leo and Kate. You're mad when you find out that they're not together just because of the story and the love and the romance and their chemistry on set that managed to fool us all. But not here. I didn't get that. And I hate it. I hate it because you can't write a romance movie with no romance, with no passion. Unless, you're Korean, but then you get a pass because that's a different type of romance. But these two are obviously not of Asian descent. And oh my god, I just hate it so much. And I understand that it's Lady Gaga's debut film, but that's not a pass. You can't just say, well, it is her first movie. I'm sorry, there are many people that their debut films are awesome.
It's true. Absolutely.
So I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I just didn't like the chemistry that they had here.
I will say there was one dynamic that I thought was very good, and it makes me a little frustrated that it wasn't a little bit more of the focus of the movie, and that was between Jack and his older brother, played by Sam Elliott. I liked all of their scenes together. I liked that they didn't immediately let you know that that's his brother. They played up that a little bit, how they look like a father and son more than brothers.
One thing about their dynamic, though, that I didn't understand was the conflict. Why they were mad at each other.
Well, that's what I was going to say is I wish we could have got, I don't know, a flashback or something with them that maybe looked different depending on who was telling the story. Sam Elliott's character or Bobby, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Or Jack. But I wish we would have gotten more between them. Those two had way more chemistry than Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. I mean, at the very least.
For sure.
Looking at each other and not flinching away, I guess, like breaking eye contact, doesn't mean you have chemistry.
No, that means you're a psychopath.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. They're psychopaths.
They're psychopaths.
Like, my favorite part of the whole movie was such a ancillary moment that was just arguably pointless to the overarching story, and that was between Jack and Bobby in the truck when he's, when he told him that he idolized him, not their dad. It's like, goddamn.
Yeah, and then he puts the truck in reverse and looks back.
Which is a great shot.
And he's fucking, his eyes are red.
It's a great shot, yeah.
Yes, it's a great shot, but I hate it because it's so hard to fall in love with these great shots and these great moments because the rest of the film sucks. Like, this should have been an easy cry for me. It should have. I mean, and when Bradley Cooper's character, Jack, commits suicide, I should have been bawling. And I wasn't because it just didn't
feel like it mattered to any of the characters.
Like, and
we didn't get to see Bobby afterward.
And when there's a death between two people that are, in love, it makes me cry, yes, because that person died. But what makes me cry the most is when we get that shot of the partner who now has to live without their other partner. And that's the shot that absolutely tears me to pieces.
It's an important shot.
Yes, I want to say there was one recently that I was okay when that character died until I got the, the shot from the partner, or it might have been a parent or whatever shot it was. And that's what broke me and I couldn't stop crying. I didn't get that here. Like, yes, I was sad that Jack died.
And then they land on that moment of the emotion that Allie's feeling with her performing. Are you fucking joking me?
Yeah.
Not you in the comfort of your own home kind of reminiscing or something about writing a song about it or something, but you're performing. It's
I understand why they did that, because they wanted to kind of show this parallel between when they performed Shallow, that, she gave him parts of the lyrics and he finished it for her, and then they had a performance together. So I understand that he gave her the lyrics when he, scratched them down on the piece of paper.
Yeah.
And then she's performing it, she's finishing it for him. I get that. That's why they did that. I like that thought. I like that parallelism, but it wasn't the emotional thing I needed.
Yeah, they missed the connection part of those two throughout the rest of the movie. That would have helped.
Although I did like that he finished it. We got that flashback of him finishing that song when he was performing it for her. Or when he was showing her how he thinks the song should sound. We didn't finish with Lady Gaga getting an applause with Allie. We didn't finish with Allie getting applause or whatever. Or her breaking down or something. Okay, we finished it with him, so I did like that a little bit better. But I don't like that when she came out, she had dyed her hair back again. Because her hair was brown, and then her manager dude wanted her to go blonde, but she was like, no, I'm going to go red, which is an awful color for her. Lady Gaga, never dye your hair red like that. I didn't like it. And then she went to brown, I think. I don't know. She was on stage, so that lighting was kind of a bit weird. But I'm sorry, that's what it took for you to finally see what your husband was trying to tell you this whole time? For him to die? That seems a little drastic when this movie wasn't that drastic.
And it makes her look like a real bitch because...
Makes her look fake as fuck.
Yeah. Because it almost feels like she's riding on the wave of, this great musician who passed away, and she's his partner, so now she gets a little bit of a boost in the world. If she can just, kind of honor him, in quotes, honor him just right. Because before this, and I know that's kind of essential to the film, that she just forgets.
Yes, I hate that. What happened?
And I know that's like
the fame got to her?
Yeah, and I know that's like her manager's kind of whole involvement in this, and that we gotta, Jack is old news, we need to move on, baby. And it's just like, okay, there should be a little bit more of a conflict between the three of you then.
Yeah.
Which they try to investigate just a little bit. We get that one-on-one with Jack and the manager, and he's like, Allie would never tell you that you fucking suck, dude, but you suck. And Bradley Cooper, or Jack's just like, you know what, you right. You fucking right. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. It's like...
It's true though.
Yeah.
He does it right after. He doesn't say anything, and then fucking kills himself just because he said that. I don't know, man.
Like, did they even have an interaction before that moment? Those two, the manager and Jack. I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I think there was one scene when they were all in the room, but I don't remember what was happening. I think he was just waiting for Allie. Yeah, I hate how inconsistent Allie's character was. I don't understand it. I understand she was trying to be a sweet character, because even her dad talks about how sweet she is, but whose dad doesn't say that about their daughters?
Yeah, he's the most unreliable source.
Yeah, exactly. But she's punching,
random people.
Cops. Yes. So she's no longer sweet. I mean, she just has this kind of flimsy attitude change throughout the whole film. It's just so inconsistent to me. When we have the fight scene, which is one of the dumbest fights I've ever seen on TV, like verbal fights between two couples. The fight was kind of lame, but what made me really think about the fight was later when Jack came back to apologize about the fight. And he apologizes for what he said. And she didn't apologize to him. And I understand that she's mad that he was drunk, so he said some things he shouldn't have said. But the thing he said was, "You're ugly, and you have no talent." And this whole time he's been telling her how beautiful she is, and they make the big deal about the nose and what beautiful nose she has and whatnot, which also,
it's a little bizarre.
It's super stupid, really. But the whole time he's been telling you these things about you, and the one time he wants to hurt your feelings, he's doing it to hurt you. He doesn't mean it, based on the million other times. And then she says this really mean, out of character thing to him that all of a sudden really builds into the fakeness, the shallowness that she's being here. So it's kind of hard to like her character. I don't know if I'm supposed to like her character. I don't know if I'm supposed to be rooting for them. I don't know what's going on here. Like, I'm sorry, Allie, what you said was 10 times meaner than what he said to you. And you didn't even apologize. So where's that sweetness? Where's that sweet Allie that I'm hearing about? And like, never. After he apologized, I was paying attention to see if she ever apologized for anything. And she kind of didn't. She was just kind of like, it's okay. It's okay. Which is maybe a form of apology, I guess, to accept it. But he's clearly apologizing. So I don't know. I'm not okay with her inconsistent character.
Yeah, especially when she's so empathetic to his alcoholism.
Yes. That's a good point. Yes.
That was definitely a very left field moment for Allie. Do you want me to be your drinking buddy?
Like your dad.
Was funny though.
She just got so mad. She got so mad that he called her ugly.
Is it trying to say something about the shallow nature of celebrityism and stardom? Because we get a little bit of it also from Jack, where he's pretty disgusted at the music she's making.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he can't even be in the same room as it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame him, but it's a little overt in its messaging because this movie doesn't have much else to say, and it feels like it really sticks with that. Because they even, she even tries to back up on it by performing the song he wrote at the end and dyeing her hair back and everything. And then the whole weird angle of making her dress like that, and like she's like not comfortable in it, and like, but then she is because she picked it out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is weird. Are you losing touch with yourself?
Yeah.
We don't really know who you were to begin with, so like I'm really confused on this. I don't know how this is even possible. It's a 2.5 hour movie. We needed like another hour, I guess, between the two to get any kind of semblance of relationship. I'm curious what the other 3 movies are like based off of this now.
Yeah, another example of her character is when she refuses to have backup dancers. But then at the end, she's praying for the backup dancers. First of all, you're religious now? You pray? Okay, cool. Didn't know that about you. But now you're praying for the dancers that you didn't want on your show? Like, I don't know. Is this movie trying to tell me about the hardships of being famous? Or the hardships of famous relationships? All I got is don't get addicted to anything, really. And a self-discovery process. Okay, who was the person who self-discovered here?
Yeah, what did they discover?
I guess
we don't really know.
Jack discovered Jesus. But yeah, I'm also curious about the other movies, and I wonder if that's why the initial reaction of this film was to love it, because it derives from these classic versions.
I'm not sure which one is the classic one. I think there's one from the 30s, 50s, and 80s. And I think the 50s one is the most favored. And in that one, I think the rising star, the Lady Gaga analog, she has issues. She's an actor in that one, not a musician. They're both of them. But she's an alcoholic. She's a recovering alcoholic. So she shares that problem with the person she falls in love with, who is a battling alcoholic, right? He's in the middle of his shit. And so they have that connection, and that's that alone sounds like enough.
You just sold me with 2 sentences. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a similar platform of celebrityism and stardom, but we have that innate connection between these two, that they can understand each other on a deeper level of trauma and loneliness in the world. All right. But instead we have this girl who hates her job and performs at bars at night and has a good time and everything, and that's it. That's all she is.
She's empathetically fickle.
Yeah. And I want to see, I want to read into it just right, where Hollywood is just fickle, or the music scene is just fickle, celebrityism is just fickle. But I can't quite get that picture right in my mind, because I guess it just doesn't feel like there's any stance.
Yeah, I think based off of interviews with Bradley Cooper, the point of this film is to get people to say what they want to say, which he's trying to do that with Allie's character. Say what you want to say through your songs.
Which would have been a good focus.
And, which is back to the Shallow song. Be vulnerable,
But it's...
dive off.
But isn't it kind of ironic that they're calling that song Shallow, and the whole message here, if that's true, is extremely fucking shallow?
What do you mean?
Because no one's ever saying anything.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what Bradley Cooper is saying. this movie is about. I didn't get that from this movie. I didn't get anything from this movie besides a cool song in my Spotify repeats.
It's starting to remind me of, you have this situational kind of joke or comedic thing that happened, and you're trying to describe it to someone, but you just can't unless you were there, kind of thing. And Bradley Cooper, man, we're not celebrities. We don't walk the boulevards. We have broken dreams. We are just random schmoes with random jobs. Some of us unemployed.
Unless you subscribe to Patreon at Patreon. Patreon.com/Filmsteins.
At $1, it'd be great. I feel like we're missing a little bit of the context that's maybe implied, but I'm just not part of the right picture maybe to empathize on that level.
Yeah. I'm there with you.
I feel like there's a lot missing from this movie. With ignoring Lady Gaga and her whole thing, which isn't great, but it's also not the worst performance I've ever seen by any stretch of the imagination.
Yes.
She's better than, still 50% of a lot of the actors who do this full time.
Yes.
Right? So, but it is, I guess I focus on her so much because it feels like they have something with her. Like, it feels like they feel like they have something with her. They don't have anything with her. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and
it feels a little self-serving, I guess, in a way, and I feel like you almost can't. I feel cynical saying this, but I feel like you can't get away from it because they let her perform like 3 whole fucking songs. It's like, we got Lady Gaga, we've got to get her to sing as much as possible. It's like,
yeah, and Lady Gaga in the music industry has definitely taken a stance on something she has to say, which I don't get that through her music, but I get that through her dressing up as a slab of meat, She's got something to say about the music industry and the beauty standards and whatnot.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, maybe they wanted her specifically for that, for this impact she has.
But I don't know about Lady Gaga. I really don't. But she's always given me the impression of she's kind of cut of the Dada movement where anything can be art kind of mindset, when that's just not true. It is and it isn't true, depending on how, I guess, snobby you want to be. And I feel like I don't know about her music. I don't know what her Lady Gaga's music is about. But the music Ally makes in this film is just, I mean, it's the epitome of just kind of senseless beats that are nothing but performative. There's just, you know what I mean?
Like her songs that she does when she's a pop star?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, they're saying absolutely nothing. But she's got a great routine.
Yeah.
She's got a great dance routine.
And
yeah.
Jack repeats some of her lyrics to her, and they're just like,
some about an ass. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just bizarre. It's just like, what? I feel like they're trying so hard to say something. Maybe I'm just not smart enough for this film. God forbid. But
who's shallow now?
That's kind of it's such a funny meta ironic thing, I think. Is Lady Gaga self-aware enough of her shallowness in the real world that she wanted to be part of this production to deliver this exact message of the meaninglessness of it?
Yeah, based off of interviews I saw with Lady Gaga, she talks about how she relates nothing to Ally's character in real life. That growing up, she's always been super confident to show the world what she wants to say, and she feels like she has, and that basically it was Bradley Cooper's passion behind this project that made her want to do it. So I don't know.
I mean, I respect that, because any actor worth any fucking salt is gonna want to perform in ways they are not, right? Mm-hmm. That's a complete insult to the craft to just want to be you on screen.
Not a complete insult, but
an almost complete insult. I will say, Bradley Cooper went on the record saying the reason he wanted to become a filmmaker, not just an actor, was because of David Lynch's The Elephant Man.
Yeah, I think I was reading something about that. Like he did a performance in a play. I don't know who he was. I don't know if he was the main dude, but he was just, it was a film that him and his dad watched. And that's how he fell in love with filming. So I'll give him that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, Bradley. You get 1 point.
It's always a little suspicious that every filmmaker, every actor loves great movies.
And then they make shit.
It's always a little funny, isn't it? It's like, maybe you didn't get the point.
I'm sorry. David Lynch is like, I'm sorry, you were inspired by my movie? Obviously not.
No, I hate to say it, but David Lynch would be like, Bradley Cooper, who? I'm sorry.
Damn.
And he's just in a world of his own, you know? It's just how...
It's not David you, Lynch. It's me.
Yeah, exactly. Is it funny that a man helped a woman out? He helped the world show her she's actually beautiful, at least on the inside, kind of thing, to like to project her into stardom. Is that a funny angle? Because we see that again with his next movie with Maestro.
Is it a funny angle? I don't think so. And I don't think it's so much a man helping a woman. It's someone in love helping who they love out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's that infatuation and that, like, I just want to do everything for you. And I know you've got the talent, so I'm going to do it for you. I do want to say, though, that was probably my favorite scene of the movie, when he brings her out on stage and she's kind of shy about it, but she doesn't sound shy. I mean, she sounds great. Performing the song, when they perform it together, they sound amazing. But we get these little instances of her just covering her mouth and saying, oh my God, and saying there's so many people, and, you know, that kind of just shyness that gives her like this cuteness to her. So I do like that.
Yeah, no, they have these. Yeah, in those first 15 minutes or so, they begin to establish the situation here. And at the end, I would argue they deliver on some of it, but it just doesn't punch like it should because we don't have the build up for the end, because we miss the entire midsection of the film. We're
rushing. Yeah, even in the scene when he makes that engagement ring out of the guitar string, that whole scene felt so rushed. They got engaged and married in like less than a minute in the movie. Like, I'm sorry, no, this is a moment right now. And then they were at what's his name? His friend, played by Dave Chappelle, George Noodles. But on the wiki page, it says that's Jack's best friend. It is? I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that. That was your best friend? No clue. So I got introduced to your best friend, you got engaged, and you got married in less than a minute. Cool.
It's like they've confused passion with like blowing your load early. You know? There's no build up to anything. I could see the confusion, but one's a problem.
You're killing me. Yeah.
It's a problematic film. It's another one of these many frustrating films where there is proper filmmaking chops here. There really is. It's not a shitty production. It's just a shitty like beat structure. The storyboarding just did not get the memo of the focus.
Someone must have taken some of the boards from the storyboard.
Yeah. They sure did.
They didn't number them. Something happened.
Yeah.
It's like, where's the board with the flashback with Bobby and Jack?
A flashback would have been maybe welcome here, you know, build some history with these characters.
Where's the other 3 boards where Allie and Jack fight?
I know. Where was the throwing and yelling?
Yes.
We didn't need a ton of it, but we needed some of it. You punched a cop off duty, But you punched a random guy. Okay, he was sort of not really harassing this guy you just met who happens to be famous. Okay, you don't have any right to punch this man.
Yes.
He wasn't even being that abrasive.
You're obviously crazy.
You're
crazy
obviously
bitch.
crazy.
Yes.
You're obviously going to throw a fucking coffee mug at Jack at some point.
You're going to leave his ass somewhere. You're going to catch something on fire. You're going to throw shit out the window. You're going to do something to this man.
I don't know. I just... It's frustrating. It is super frustrating.
I did like, however, let's give it something here. Let's throw it
I like Dave Chappelle's appearance. I will say that.
You did?
Yeah. I love Dave Chappelle, yeah.
I have nothing for or against Dave Chappelle. He's just there. I'm like, hey, that guy looks familiar. Then I look it up. I'm like, oh, yeah. That's it. But I did like the little character flaw they gave Jack with his ear problem.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. I like that they made us experience tinnitus with him.
He should have been the focus entirely.
I really love that.
What if the whole movie was his hearing? We hear his hearing and it gets worse the whole time, and we hear the tinnitus when he's on screen.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a film on its own.
And we feel his frustration. Maybe we don't always hear what Allie's saying because she fucking whispers, you know?
And I mean, every time someone talked to him there towards the end, and he said, what? Like 3 times? I'm like, man, I like that. Yeah. I like what you did here.
Yeah. I do too.
But we went nowhere with that.
I was reading some random stupid comments online about how, because of stuff like that, and then his performance in Maestro, people feel like Bradley Cooper's so desperate for an Oscar.
Oh my gosh.
Because he does have both films. He's definitely a character for sure. He's very much a character, it's cool.
It is cool.
I hope he continues doing it.
Yes. He wants to say something.
Yeah. I think he's going to.
Yeah.
I think Bradley Cooper's on the path of making really great films.
You hear that, Bradley? We're not all negative here.
Yeah.
I maybe should have talked about this in the beginning of the episode, but I didn't know that's what Bradley Cooper looked like. I didn't know he was such a heartthrob, and that he acts and sings and juggles and can do backflips while on a trampoline.
He's a man of many talents.
Yeah, I didn't know he was a man of many talents. I didn't know he was so loved. Oh my God, some of the interviews I saw, girls just cheering and cheering. I'm like, wow. Just didn't know that. But apparently he spent 18 months doing voice lessons.
Singing lessons?
Singing lessons. Yeah, singing lessons to get ready here for this movie.
That's awesome. He's definitely has something about him that's very passionate in filmmaking.
That's kind of like Andrew Garfield that also had to spend months doing singing lessons for one of his movies, the one where he's all crazy and with a piano. Is it a piano?
Tick, Tick, Boom.
That one.
That's the one.
Where he sings with his mouth.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Super open, like he's about to eat a donut on his mouth at the same time.
Dude, he had a good time making that movie.
Yeah, it's always pretty cool when unexpected people that you're like, whoa, you can sing. Almost like Timothée Chalamet and Wonka too. You can sing and dance. I'm sure every actor nowadays can sing, dance, and act.
Well, when you have the means to get these trainers and lessons, it probably makes it a little bit easier than just a regular person having to do it.
So you're saying if I'm rich enough one day, I too can be a singer?
Yeah, you will be able to sing at the very least. You don't know about a professional singer, but
oh man,
yeah, I think anyone can sing.
Like get some claps at karaoke night.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right.
You might be able to get those now.
Oh, thank you.
Depending on how late in the night,
how drunk I am,
how drunk they are.
Is. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was a good talk. Thank you for that. Thank you for watching this movie.
Thank you for watching this movie. It was on our radar.
Yeah, it's been on my list for a while, just because it's one of these more recent, really hyped movies, I guess, in my circle, especially years back. Do you have a budget guess for me today?
Yes, my budget guess is 30 million. I say that because of them interrupting the concerts so they could film what they did. And then I think in an interview he said that he talked about that, how they had to interrupt the concerts and some people didn't know what's going on.
People didn't know.
And how limited of a budget he had. So I was like, oh, okay. So you don't got a lot of money here. So I went with 30 because there's still a lot here. For
for sure. Yeah.
It's not a 1 million, 2 million movie.
Yeah, we didn't film in one apartment like The Whale.
Exactly.
It's a good guess. It's a good thought. It says here the budget was $36 million.
Damn.
So that's a pretty good guess.
Is that the closest I've been?
I don't know. I've been trying to keep in my mind like percentage wise. What is that, like 20% off? So
I don't know. I don't math.
So I think that's a good guess though. But it's even crazier how much money they made.
Oh shit!
They made more. They made $436 million. They made that suite 10 times, over 10 times, 13 times the budget.
Oh my god!
That's nuts. That's a massive hit. And so now Bradley Cooper will probably be able to make films until he dies. He'll be able to direct films until the day he dies.
Wow!
Making that kind of money. That's awesome, isn't it?
And that's why you get Lady Gaga. Sorry, Lady Gaga, to shit on you, but you bring in the money.
That's fair. That's fair. She's got
a big fan base.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know. I mean, I think you'd have to be kind of a true Philistine to be completely blind to that. Mm-hmm. She's a major award-winning musician, and
yes,
I'm not familiar with her music. She's got like 7, 8 Grammys or something like that, and a bunch of other music awards. Yeah, she's pretty decorated. But yeah, there's probably something to that. I didn't even think about Lady Gaga bringing in the butts.
Oh, for sure.
That's true, yeah.
And especially if that Shallow song was released before.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it probably was.
Then, yeah. I mean, if I would have heard it then, I probably would have gone to the movies, too.
Yeah. Very nice, very nice. It says here on Letterboxd, for some general consensus out there, of 976,000 people on Letterboxd.
Holy poops. There's that many people on Letterboxd?
Yeah, I think about 10 million people are on Letterboxd.
Uh-huh.
So it's a really nice sample of folks.
Okay.
All across the world. 3.6. A little weighted up top.
Okay.
We have some fans out there, fanatics. That seems to check out with how does people generally feel about the film. I'm afraid we are probably a little bit in the minority in that.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 2.
Me too, actually.
Wow. We're in agreement?
We don't land in the same spot very often.
Never.
I'm usually a little lower.
And if you're kind of low, like a 2, and I don't like it either, I'm usually harsher and I give it like a half a star. It's rare when we're in agreement.
The level of production in performances are big staples in my mindset on that, and so it's hard for something like this to drop down. Yeah. Like versus like Blue Beetle.
Yeah, that keeps dropping every day.
Yeah, I know. If you think about it too long, it'll be half a star before you know it. But there's just a level of cheapness there and incompetence across the board that you're just like, that's definitely not a 2.
Yes.
As far as, my kind of scale goes.
Yeah. Yeah, no one's performance really sucked. There was character suckiness, but...
Yeah. Well, and I think Lady Gaga's performance is pretty weak, but I don't think...
It was like the girl in Blue Beetle. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
She was...
Yeah. Whew, that girl. She's tough. I mean, she's rough.
She's tough.
She's not tough. Lady Gaga, I feel like we didn't let her act. We had her. We had to get her to sing. We needed her to look at Bradley Cooper as much as possible and touch his face. It's not acting. It's like micro theater acting. You know how you get real flamboyant and armsy up on stage. We had that on a micro scale with facial body language. Like, it's just like, I don't know about this. Yeah. So But I also think her performance is better than almost anything in Blue Beetle, for example. You know, with the exception of the grandma and the dad in that movie.
Yes.
And maybe George Lopez.
Yeah, and there was definitely something here in this film. Did it say it very well? No. But there was something here.
It does feel that way, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how. This movie was 136 minutes. We probably needed another hour of fucking dialogue for anything meaningful to come out of this. So, I don't know. Bradley Cooper got a little ambitious with the project.
Yeah, I saw a review that somebody said that this would have been better, that they liked it, but it would have been better maybe as like a mini series.
Sure, like Selena on Netflix or the Jeffrey Dahmer thing. Yeah,
that's a good
like a 3-part thing.
Yeah,
sure. I could totally see that, especially because we have that passionate build-up of knowing each other, the introduction to stardom for Allie, and a little bit of the wear and tear of his alcoholism and her kind of detachment from the relationship, kind of bleeding into the last episode of really running the incompatibility home, and then kind of, you know, her being reminded that she was deeply in love with this guy at one point and now is sad because he fucking killed himself. So,
yeah.
Good job, Allie.
Good job, Allie. And you and your manager.
Rez, fuck that guy.
Yeah, Rez.
He looked like a fucking manager.
He did look like a manager.
Yeah, man, thank you. This was good talk. Good talk. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Filmsteins. Remember, you can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for brand new episodes over on patreon.com/Filmsteins, Pandora, Google Podcasts, for a couple more days, I think, Apple Podcasts, all the goods. Come by to our Patreon, leave nice reviews, comments, likes, wherever, every platform, please. We beg you.
Please.
Come by and give us $1.
$1.
If you give us $1 now, I'll give you $1 later when I'm rich.
I'm not agreeing to that, but... Yeah.
But until next time, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmsteins. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Filmsteins. And follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmsteins, signing off.